And so that's really the question. You know, are people, how many more coastal storms does it take, will it take, for people to, in this area, to say, I don't want to stay here anymore, I want to do something else. We can then put the tools in place to encourage the development to go where we want to. That's not the issue. The issue is getting people to want to do it.
Yeah.
Has there been any thought of coordination with, as far as buyouts, with local municipalities that have some zombie home programs and a number of unoccupied homes, you know, that could be, you know, swapped for you know, in the marshland zones? I mean, I know it's different municipalities and those are always a little more challenging, but.
So are you asking about the buyout?
Margaret, you're asking about the buyout program.
Well, has there been any coordination between the buyout program and some local municipalities which have a zombie home program that they're dealing with and could, you know, we're talking about properties that, you know, are looking for homes versus people living where, you know.
At least on the GOZA end of things. One of the good things about the GOZA program is that it's kind of a proof of concept. One of the bad things is that we can't do a lot with the federal funding that we have. So we have to use our funds there has to be a tie back to the storm, so it has to be in storm damaged areas. And then the ownership issue is always the issue of who do we buy the land from, who do we give the federal dollars from. GOZA owns these properties, so our hands are tied in that sort of idea. It is definitely something that when the state is thinking about kind of expanding this type of program, we are thinking about those types of things. It just is, we can't do it within the constraints that GOZA has right now in our buyout program.
Like perhaps a local municipality could make that an incentive, like, you know.
Definitely, yeah.
You know, we have a property for you over here if you're willing to leave.
Definitely, and one of the things also just, again, because of time constraints and funding constraints, we at the time of providing the incentives and assistance to get people to move out of the homes, we haven't been able to track where everyone went yet either. It wasn't a condition. The program was developed to make the communities more resilient. So what we're doing right now in the research team is trying to track where those people went and see if it was an incentive, not monetary, but if it was an incentive to make them more resilient, go to higher ground or whatever. So that can help inform a buyout program that's maybe not federally funded but state funded and locally funded.
I just want to add from my experience, and I worked with the town of East Hampton for a number of years, there just isn't a large bank of town-owned properties to move people to that aren't already restricted. You know, they might have been acquired for wetlands purposes or drainage purposes and they can't be used for anything else. The towns all coordinate with Suffolk County for the tax default properties before they get, you know, sold, you know, try to gobble them up as soon as they can, trying to, you know, get things for affordable housing and for so many other municipal needs. But that would probably be another good thing too, right? You know, let's try to bank some of these up so we could be relocating people who might want to.
You know, my familiarity, this is with respect to a TDR program. My familiarity with it is it's, you know, very linear in terms of municipal lending context. Okay, I get 2 for 1 if I sell this here and then transfer it to receiving zone. Is there much flexibility within a TDR program to kind of correct for property value? So if you have an individual, you know, parcel in a given area that's deemed desirable by the market and it's, you know, exceedingly high in value, can a TDR program correct for that in terms of transferring that development right on to receiving zone?
That is obviously a key point, and we showed some examples of Mastic Shirley Conservation Area where they're more modest value. Perhaps zombie homes are down there. There are certainly vacant homes down there and so forth. But as we all know, there are, you know, million-dollar properties along the coastline throughout Long Island, especially to get into Nassau County in terms of the density and so forth. But your point is well taken in terms of it's a market-based approach. It has to have a market force behind it in terms of the economics have to make sense. HRNA, as part of the consultant team, is going to be looking at that in detail. But I'm not going to express if there's magic or magic dust we can put on this that's all of a sudden going to make it work. This is not something that's going to work in all cases. It's something that can work in perhaps some cases and be, here again, another tool. There is a requirement in state law, just in terms of related impact too, is that there can't be an unreasonable burden on receiving tax district, shifting in tax burdens. So when we talk about the economics of change, of buying out, or transferring out high-value real estate in a densely developed coastal area, that could adversely affect that district in terms of the local service cost and so forth, and also in terms of the receiving district, that has to be assessed. So it is a requirement that that burden be analyzed. But I think the incentives are a way of trying to tip the scales a little bit, and that's been a problem with TDR programs in general, and in terms of having it function smoothly, as of right, and incentivized enough to make a developer, a property owner, want to do a deal.
All right, ready to wrap up?
Let's give this panel another. Just two quick announcements for planning board members and BZA members. If you do need the certification certificate and you attended the mobile workshop, please let us know at the registration table so that we can make sure that you get the correct number of hours. All of the presentations that were shared this evening, along with a video of the event, will be up on our website, www.apalongisland.org. And that's about it. Thank you again, everybody, for coming. It was a great event and a great turnout. And have a great rest of the week. We'll see you next year. Thank you.